Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's Thursday, March 30th, 2023. This is PreciseAlgorithmTrading.com, and it's our daily review. And I'm going to start here with the point and figure charts on StockCharts.com. This is we look up the bullish percent indexes. So bullish, we type in here. For what it's worth, you could type in any individual thing. You could type in Apple if you wanted to, and you could get a chart for Apple, and you could go down and change it to it's been a while since I did this, but you can change these settings. You can actually even like change what type of chart you want to look at. I think that might be here. Yeah, if you type in point and figure and type in Apple, you can see the point and figure chart for Apple, which is an interesting chart in and of itself because it's got a new column of X's today. That they're green, so that makes it today. And if it gets one more X, which means it has to exceed 164, then and that could be 164.01, like by a penny would work. That would put in a new X, and then that would be a point and figure buy signal, which technically speaking, I guess this is already a point and figure buy signal. It just was on a column of O's because the recent column of X's before today had exceeded the previous column of X's to the upside. So that is the definition of a point and figure buy signal, which is when we get into the bullish percent indexes. This is a measure of all of the stocks in the Dow Jones. This is the Dow Jones bullish percent index, and this is of the 30 stocks. 53.33% of them are on point and figure buy signals. So that's what it means. So that means the other 46.66% are on sell signals of the 30 stocks that are in there. What's that really tell you? It just tells you that there's more buying than selling, and more buy. That's all. Well, what it really tells you is there's more buy signals than sell signals. That's all it tells you. But it's a measure of how much bullishness there is in a particular index. So then we can look at the New York average, which I don't know how many stocks it has. It's something like 7,000 to 11,000. I don't know the exact number. I'm sure you could Google if you wanted to, but this is showing you that 41.94% of the stocks on the New York Stock Exchange are on a point and figure buy signal, and today 7.76% of them, the index went 7.76% higher or more. So, and we have put in a new column of X's, which is the NYA is probably the most complete of them all because it's got the most stocks in it. So this is a fresh new buying indicator, and not something to like put all your money into. It's just showing you that we're getting a new level of bullishness, which I've been talking about for a week or two, because we've seen other things that are popping, and then we got the big down move because of the bank scare and all that stuff. But the transports, they've been on a column of X's for a bit. That's why we've been talking about it lately, because some of the things will actually lead the pack, and when the transports are leading, that's fairly bullish. Actually, it leads both directions in a lot of ways, like the small cap stocks. But there's not a bullish percent index for small caps that I've found. There might be one over in Investors Intelligence, but I don't have a subscription there at the moment. The NASDAQ is, tech stocks. I've been looking for it to reverse. It hasn't yet. It went up by 3.19% today. It needs to get up and going if it's going to happen. So that's interesting that it hasn't. Then I go to the SPX because the S&P 500 is what everybody kind of looks at for what's the market, and it's gone up by 16.93% today. Tacked on 4 X's. 44.2% of stocks are on a buy signal in the S&P 500. So, I mean, really, once this thing gets up and past maybe the 50% level, then it's going to start feeling more bullish, and that's probably the time we'll start looking over your shoulder for prices to come back down again. But we'll hopefully see some signs of that before that actually takes place. And then the NDX, it's the NASDAQ 100, and it went up by 1.79% today. If the NASDAQ gets hit here shortly, like to the downside, we could get a point and figure sell signal. I shouldn't say that. This is on a column of O's. It looks like it wants to reverse to the upside. If it reverses back, that's what I was going to say. If we get a reversal up to the upside with X's, we could get a quick downturn, and then that would turn into O's, and it wouldn't take very much. We just have to get down past 52 for this thing to turn into a column of, or a new point and figure sell signal. So, sorry if that was confusing. And then the OEX. The OEX looks pretty bullish as of the moment, but it is in a longer term point and figure sell signal, because the previous column of X's or O's has exceeded the column before it. Okay, that's that. The actual charts themselves. Here's the S&P 500. We got this triangle pattern that looks like we're going to be heading up towards here within the next few days. It's the 30th, so we got tomorrow for Friday, and then we're going to change the calendar to April. So that'll be April will be a new way of looking at stuff. And in April, 90% of the time in the last 10 years, the market has gone up an average of 1.86%. So that is interesting. Maybe we'll get a break of that upside line. We'll see. I'm expecting to actually see some resistance against it first, maybe pull back to the middle again, and before we get a chance to launch up through it. I don't think launching through it can happen all at once, but who knows? Anything can happen in the markets. The Russell, actually, I should probably speak to what happened today. The S&P 500 itself, but if you look at the SPX, the DJI over here on the left, the comp, that's the SPX, the Dow Jones Industrials, and the NASDAQ. So that's the S&P without all the overnight noise. It's up against well, that's interesting, isn't it? It's up against the gold Harvard line. So a breakout of the gold Harvard line would be a new buy signal to the Harvard line. That's interesting. The Dow is really the laggard in this whole thing. However, we got green True Momo, and we got a buy signal on the True Momo from a few days ago. So this, that's, I'm going to say, part of the reason why this thing's going up is we got a lot of indications of, the internals are going up and this is going up. So the NASDAQ was already up and it's pulled back, and now it's looking possibly to break out over these new recent highs. There's a long way to go to get to the real highs of the market way back here. So can't get too excited, just follow the charts. So that's the NASDAQ, and then you can see overnight is what all the E-minis are doing up here on the left hand side. They're all up a little bit overnight. None of that matters. I'm really looking to hit some resistance and get a pullback, because we've had a couple days of up 1%, up 0.5%, that type of thing. And we're going into Friday where people can get more cautious, and so short-term traders will take their money off the table for the weekend and that type of thing. Oh, that's nice when I get a performance problem on the platform. When that happens, guys, don't freak out about it, and you can always get the support line and all the other things that are, these systems are they're all pretty good, but you know, they still are software. So flipping over now to, so that's the, well, I guess we should look at oil. Oil did go up today. I wish I'd have stayed in my position, but I was up for the last couple days and made a nice profit, so I got out. But and I'll look for a pullback and potential to get back in again. We're only bullish. Well, actually, now today we're bullish on the weekly and the daily time frames. So if that holds for through the week, then I'll be looking for a pullback and a chance to buy in again. So that's cool. And oh yeah, bonds today. Let's look at bonds. So bonds actually put in a buy signal on the daily. I don't know why we're fighting. Yeah, bonds put a buy signal on the daily true momo indicator. It's not the same as true momentum. And I went ahead and set or put in a buy order and set some immediate sell orders in case if this breaks to the downside, I just want to get out. But we got target dots on the weekly, so I decided to play it to the upside for that reason. And there you go. So now let's get to the automatic trading signals, or the automatic trading systems. These actually trade themselves all day long, yada yada yada. You guys hear this stuff if you follow me. So this is the Russell 2000, and it's small cap stocks, and it's the futures contract, and this is the quarterly contract, and it looks terrible if you're trying to make money. This is the equity curve, and it means that we've gotten as far down as $17,000 and change. And now we're hopefully starting to pop up a little bit. We'll see. We had a pop up there that happened before. So, but then I threw these on so we can see the last few trades and really want to focus on these things have automatic stops. So if you get to where you're losing too much money, it'll stop out, and it's a calculated stop based on the really the way we run the algorithm. It's just the math. So the idea is to win more often than you lose, and when you do win, make more money than you lose. So there's a lot of little losses here. There's a couple of big losses. Looks like my stop on this one is $1,750 per trade, and that's not per contract, that's per total trade, and I think I got 3 contracts in this one. I wouldn't swear to that. But then you look at it on the longer term basis, and this is the 6-month basis, and then on the weekend I'll pop up the 12-month basis, and you can see we've had a big downdraft. We've had them before, and what we're really looking to do is to get this kind of action going again so we can fill in this gap. That's it. And the algorithm is based on, again, math. So if that math comes back into play, which it should, then we should be just fine. So then here's the NASDAQ, and it's taken a turn for the worse here lately. But we've had that before. We had it here, and then it came back up. We had it back here. We've had it off this chart. I went ahead and threw these on here because this is more indicative of how these systems look typically. A lot of wins, then a couple losses, and then we've got some back and forth. We've had some negative stuff going on. That looks like probably the largest loss. And then we look at it on a 6-month basis, and it's just fine. We have these drawdowns, and then we have these times when when our equity goes up. So when our system is working, times like that when our system is working in our favor, I should say. It's always working. It's just a matter of whether it's working in our favor or not. So here's the Dow, and it's been really choppy. That was down. We got another down here, obviously. We had a nice up. That was only a few trades. That's what I'm looking for again. If we look at this, there's more losers than winners, but our winners, I think, are bigger in the overall. 500 there, 1980 there, um, versus, you know, the biggest one on here that I can see right off the top of my head is 860. So that is the idea and the concept. And then on a 6-month basis, this one looks, you know, it's wonky in through here and it's wonky in through here, but it looks generally good. And we should see some of this action again. That's the point. And I'll leave you with that and enjoy your evening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.